Thank you so much, my fellow friend, for tuning on to Central TV UG. Thank you so much for your engagement, for your likes, and everything that you're putting onto this channel. So right now in this video, we are going to talk about the most luxurious areas here in Kampala, Uganda, plus the upscaling areas, or the areas that are up to the standards, or they are coming up or getting closer to the premium standards or luxurious standards. So the areas that you're going to talk about, shall first talk about the most luxurious areas. So the first area that we shall talk about, that is Buziga. So most of you may be knowing Buziga. So Buziga, it is a luxurious area that most of the rich in Uganda that are settling in. So Buziga, it has these fine roads. The roads are actually very fine. The houses, the residential apartments and everything, it is just looking gorgeous and beautiful. The roads, they are very clean. So Buziga, it's an area with class and standards. So that's what I can say. So most of the whites, or maybe the visitors that we get, the tourists and so on, they mostly reside in Buziga areas. So not to forget, Buziga is actually close to Lake Victoria. So that means when you are in Buziga, maybe apartments or maybe flats, you can be able to view the lake shores of Lake Victoria. So that would give someone a nicer view of or a scenario view, something of that kind. So Buziga, it's that's a top pick as well. Then we shall go to Munyonyo. So Munyonyo is most known still for luxury, fine apartments. Then still we shall talk about the Munyonyo Commonwealth Resort, the one for Sudiro Pareria. Then the apartments are still part of the the top picks, because most of these areas, they just filled up with apartments, of course, because if it's an area and it's a residential area, of course it will be calling for A&bs plus apartments as well. So Munyonyo is also a place or a town that gives that elegancy feel, okay, that premium feel, that luxurious feel of someone that is having money, from very many factors, like from the roads, the atmosphere. Munyonyo is also quiet, just like Buziga. Yes, also Munyonyo is quite quiet. The neighborhoods are very nice looking. The aesthetics are also top notch. So everything about Munyonyo, I feel like, yes, it's at the standards. Yes, not forget still, Munyonyo is still watched by the lecturers of Lake Victoria. I shouldn't forget that. Then from Munyonyo, we shall move on to Muyenga. So Muyenga, it is one of the oldest here. It's one of the oldest areas that have been for the rich, but still up to now, it still holds up its standards. Yes, with the rich families, with the rich individuals still settling in Munyonyo. It has also had those fine refinements from the early 2000s, from the roads, from the neighborhoods and everything. So these areas are just kind of close to each other. When you talk about the proximity, it's not that too far. So the proximity, it's very close. So all these areas, or most of these areas that you're talking about in the luxury type, most of them, they are near Lake Victoria. Okay, so even Muyenga, it is also a nice epic place. Okay, the only difference with Munyonyo, or the only difference with Muyenga, it is that Muyenga, it's quite old. Okay, because it's one of the ancient areas or ancient towns that were known for the rich, unlike these ones like Buziga or some other newer places. Okay, yes, but still Muyenga, it's outstanding and it still keeps the standard up to 2025 as of right now. Okay, so we shall move on to Nakasero. So when we talk of Nakasero is located within the heart of Kampala. So Nakasero, it is holding very many commercial and residential apartments and hotels as well. So when you talk about still Nakasero, what goes into your mind? It will be the State House of Uganda. So obviously we are having two state houses, but the one in Entebbe, of course, it's there, but still we have another state house in Nakasero, not to forget. So I'm talking about the state house in Nakasero. So given that the president himself is staying within Nakasero, so the place would be really giving. Okay. Yes. Still not forgetting in Nakasero, we're having a lot of commercial buildings. Yes, in Nakasero we're having Citibank, we are having nice roads. Okay, the infrastructure they are up to that level. Yes, they're on top of the level, because this Nakasero, it is one of the areas that you can be visiting or maybe be residing in, and you feel like it's like you're in another country or not Uganda. Yes, okay, it has that feel. It's like you're in a different country. Yes, to be honest, because I've been there before. So we have a hotel still in Nakasero, the elegant and five-star hotels like Sheraton Kampala Hotel, Serena. Still, we have the residential apartments like Fontis. Also Fontis is yeah, a nice luxurious apartment or residential apartment that you can try out. Then also have Farewell Hotel. So it's having a couple of hotels that are really up to that level. In fact, these are five-star hotels. So Nakasero, it's having still the good roads. Everything is just top notch, but very expensive. So Nakasero will be in our fourth place. Still moving on, we shall go on to Lubowa. So Lubowa is like an organized estate. Yes, Lubowa is an organized estate, but it's top class, by the way. It's top class. The only difference with Lubowa and these other areas that I mentioned a few minutes ago, Lubowa, it's an organized estate. Like these guys, they came up with a number of houses or a series of houses that are very identical to each other, with the same setting, with the same building type and architecture. So everything is just kind of similar. So you can come as an individual, as a family, then you can purchase these homes, or maybe you can sub-rent, or you can even lease. Okay, you can lease out a building, or maybe like for 50 years or 30 years. You never know. But these areas, they are just top notch. Given that it's an estate, when you talk of the infrastructures of these estates, come on, these estates, they have got the schools, they have got the medical centers, like hospitals. The roads, oh my God, the roads are looking nice, because Lubowa, it's a big estate that is filled up with very, very many houses, that are nice looking. Everything about Lubowa is just top notch. So these are some of the areas that one will be wishing to live in, or maybe to be residing in, but still they are quite expensive, because when you talk about something that is that is very luxurious, obviously the cost may be coming along. So Lubowa, it's a very, very refined area. And remember, mind you, remember that Lubowa, it's very new. Yes, it is very new, because the estate thing in here in Uganda, it has just come. So it is new, but top class. Yeah, so when you're going to Lubowa, you actually pass from, you pass on Entebbe Road, okay? When you're coming from Namasuba, you go to Zana. Then from Zana, you come to Lubowa around the roofing areas on Entebbe Road. So Lubowa, you can easily locate it. So that's Lubowa. It's a very, very, very refined area. Remember, it's new. It's filled with elegancy and luxury. You have to visit these places. Then we have the place that we have in a top, or maybe the first place, or maybe the most epic and most luxurious place that we have here in Kampala. It's Kololo. So Kololo will go as my number one pick, because Kololo is having a lot. It's having a lot of luxury, from restaurants, from hotels, from apartments, from a&bs. Everything about Kololo is just top notch. Regardless, the others which are near Lake Victoria and so on, Kololo is not near Lake Victoria. Okay, it's quite a distance from it, because for it, it's kind of centered almost in the middle of Kampala, just like Nakasero, unlike the others. But Kololo, it's the definite vibe. It is everything. It is everything that you would need, because it has got the elegance apartments, the restaurants, it has got Acacia Mall, Cat and Walk, Divino, to mention but a few. Yeah, so there are a lot of, apartments and commercial places that make Kololo to be at the top of the luxury. Yes, we have a lot of hotels too. like 4 points per tier. And mind you, these are Marriott hotels, so we expect the standards to be in the luxury. But mind you, they're expensive. But as I told you, when you talk about these luxurious areas, of course, they're expensive. So, Kololo will be our top pick because it's having a lot of stations, a lot of areas, and a lot to offer, unlike the others, because at least it has restaurants, it's having the malls, the residential areas, it has everything that you need. Yes, and also there is this hotel. Okay, it's an apartment that I like it so much. It's called 17 Apartments. It's called 17 Apartments. It's in within Kololo, so it just defines luxury. Yes, 17 Apartments. It defines luxury, but it's quite pricey. Yes, but I like it most, and I like it so much. Yes, because if you take maybe a peek, or maybe when you show your friends that you've been in such areas, they might even never believe that you are in Uganda. To me, it feels to me at a certain point I feel like these guys are within Uganda, but still they're not in Uganda. Because when you get to visit these areas, or maybe when you get to pass through these areas, you feel like this is another type of Uganda. So it just sounds strange, okay? It's a strange feeling, but it feels like these guys are in a different type of country, or not, or not residing in Uganda. So those are the top picks in our most luxurious areas. So we mentioned of Buziga, we mentioned of Munyonyo, we mentioned of Muyenga, we mentioned of Nakasero, then we mentioned of Lubowa, the one that is containing the estates, and we have Kololo as our last pick. So those are the most luxurious, or maybe most premium areas that someone will be staying in here in Kampala. They have the top security, they have the cleanest area, they have the most bougie neighborhoods, everything that you would need. Yes, I know you do like these places, because no one will be not wanting maybe to settle in these places, so everyone will be wishing to be settling in these places. So those are our top picks in the most luxurious areas. So next to, we are going to the upscale areas. So these upscale areas, these are the type of areas that are moving onto the, how can I call it? Okay, they are kind of having similar qualities like the other ones of the luxury, but still not fully. I can say they are having characters of the other luxury, like at least a 50% or a 40%. So these are called the upscale areas. So these upscale areas, I won't be mentioning them in a hierarchical format. I'll be just mentioning them, randomly. So one of these are areas in the upscale areas. First of all, we have Ntinda. Yeah, so Ntinda is well known for the upper middle class people, or maybe families or individuals. So Ntinda is a very, very nice town. It's a very, very nice area, but just that it's missing out some stuff to be compared to the other ones like Buziga. So Ntinda, it's having a little bit of congestion, because everyone that is starting to get some little bit of money is shifting where he or she then goes to Ntinda, or maybe Nigeria. Yeah, so we have Ntinda. Still, it's a good place. Yeah, it's a good place. I understand. So Ntinda, it's also a good place. What makes it good? It's having a lot of malls. Yeah, it's having a lot of malls. It's having the Ntinda Minister Village. It's also can I call it some sort of estate? The Minister Village. Yeah, it's some sort of estate, but not estate. Yeah, not fully an estate like Lubowa, but still it gives the premium vibes. Yeah, the Minister's Village, Ntinda Minister Village, it gives the bougie vibes. Then we have Nigeria. Yeah, but the problem with these areas, okay, I understand that they are kind of developing. They are good areas. They are very fine, but they just have, some little bit of refinements, so adjustments to be made to them. So Nigeria, it's a very, very good, nice place. The housing, the apartments, but they only have a little bit of few problems to fix there and there, like maybe the road. They're having some dusty roads. The electricity isn't that stable, but the areas are quite nice. Yes, okay, they are quite nice. Well, when I talk about nice, I mean, the areas don't have slummy areas, they don't have slummy houses, and the security, at least it's good, not compared to the other low-end class areas, okay, that we mentioned in our last video. So Nigeria, Nigeria, it is at least at, it's giving and it's coming, okay. Yeah, it's an upscale area, so nothing much to talk about it. Then we have Chiwatle still, it is kind of near Ntinda, so obviously it will be having the same characters as in Ntinda. So they are nice areas, just they are having some little bit of congestion and some little bit of noise, because the other luxury areas that we talked about, they don't have noise. Yes, they definitely have no noise, and they have got the most tight security. That's what I can say. Then we shall still talk about Chira, Bogolovi, Mutungo, Bulindo. Yes. So even Chira, the problem with Chira, it is the dusty roads. The dusty roads. But given that these are upscale areas, it's like they are growing and they are moving. They have that soft bit of premium, a little bit, a little bit of classy and premium, okay? It's like when you compare the cars that are in Nigeria or Ntinda, it's like you'll be finding these middle end class cars. For example, you'll be finding maybe Noah, okay? Yeah, you can be finding, for example, Noah, Primo, New Model, Harrier, such types of cars, okay? But if you are in the luxury areas, for example, Lugoa, obviously we'll be seeing the Range Rovers, the Hammer, the VA, the TX, and so on. So that is the main difference, okay? But even the upscale areas, they're not that bad. They are very, very fine. They are very fine areas for someone to settle in, and I would recommend for someone to be settling in such areas because they aren't that bad. They are not totally bad, okay? Yeah, so still we have the Bugolovi. Bugolovi is also not fine. I mean, it's not bad. It's good. Yeah, Bugolovi. The only issue about Bugolovi is still it's about maybe the congestion. Okay, these places have some little bit of congestion and noise. Yes, some little bit of congestion and noise, but still it's understandable because these are upscale areas, so they are moving on to their way for development and developing more. Then we can talk still about maybe Mutungo, still can talk about Butabika. I tell people when hear Butabika, they feel like, man, this is a mental what rehab or center, something of that kind. But I'm talking about Butabika as a town, as a city, as a place of residence, because it's also near Lake Victoria. So these areas that are near or kind of wash with the shores of Lake Victoria, they are quite premium areas because someone would want to change an area that is kind of washed by the shores of Lake Victoria to something that is quite special. So that's why you'll be seeing a number of beaches and so on. So such estates, they have been growing on the shores of Lake Victoria or places that are near water. They are growing faster, most especially here on Lake Victoria. So that's why I feel like even Butabika, it's an upscale area that is growing and is engaging and capturing the rich. So the rich have started encroaching the Butabika area close to the shores of Lake Victoria, and they are settling in such areas. So, who knows? Never know, maybe after something like 5 years or maybe 10 years to come, it would have developed fully and it's looking like maybe Buziga, okay? Or maybe Muyenga, or maybe Munyonyo. Never know. So these are our upscale areas. I feel like they are fine, okay? But they are not up to the other level. But they are at least good for an individual that is, developing as well. Then not forget, we also have Bokoto. Yeah, even Bokoto is more so like in Ntinda, Ntinda, Nigeria, Chiwatle, because they are still kind of in the same proximity. But those are also nice places, okay? Even these places, by the way, they have got the apartments, they have got still the A&B, they have got some hotels and restaurants which are good. Yes, which are good. Yeah, which are good. But just like entirely overall, they can't stand as luxurious places. They just keep in the upscale level. Yes. I would like to appreciate you so much for watching this video, and I hope you can keep the subscription button on. Yes, if you haven't subscribed to the video, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can just press on the subscription button. It's free of charge, no single penny to pay. Then you can also like and share the video. Thank you so much for watching the video. God bless you. Peace out.